My name is Emily Mendizabal. I am 71 years old, and my only daughter looked me in the eyes and told me that I disgusted her, that my presence repulsed her, that she couldn't even stand to look at me. Those were her exact words, but what she didn't know is that while she was saying those horrible things to me, I had already made the most radical decision of my life, to sell absolutely everything I had, to disappear without a trace, and leave her forever wondering what she really lost that day. This is a story that will change the way you talk to the people you love, because words, once spoken, can never be erased. Stay until the end, because what you are going to hear will teach you that there are things that can be forgiven, and there are things that destroy forever. And tell me from which country you are listening to me, because I want to know if in the whole world there are daughters capable of telling their mother that they disgust them. It all started 6 months ago, when my 5-year-old daughter, Hope, moved into my house with her 2 children after separating from her husband. I had been living alone since my husband David died 4 years ago, in a large 5-bedroom house that we had bought together in 1980. When Hope asked me for help, I didn't hesitate for a second. "Mom, Michael left me for another younger woman. I was left without a house, without money, without anything. Can I come live with you until I get organized?" Of course she could come. She was my daughter, the mother of my 8 and 1 2-year-old grandchildren. My house was always going to be her house. The first few days were beautiful. After 4 years of solitude, hearing children's laughter again, voices in the kitchen, television in the living room, brought me back to life. Michael and Sarah, my grandchildren, ran all over the house. They asked me to tell them stories. They helped me water the plants in the garden. I felt useful again. Important, necessary. Hope seemed grateful. "Mom, I don't know what I would have done without you. You're a lifesaver." She cooked for me, washed my clothes, tidied the house. It was like having a full family again after years of living like a ghost in my own home. But after 2 weeks, the comments started. "Mom, why don't you cut your nails more often? They look ugly." "Mom, could you shower more often? Sometimes you have a strange smell." "Mom, that shirt is very old. It makes you look sloppy." At first I thought she was right. Maybe after 4 years of living alone, I had neglected myself a bit. I started paying more attention to my personal appearance. I cut my nails twice a week. I showered every day. I bought new clothes. But the comments didn't stop. They got worse. "Mom, when you chew, you make a lot of noise. It's unpleasant to eat with you." "Mom, when you walk around the house at night, you wake up the kids. Could you move more quietly?" "Mom, that cough of yours is very annoying. Couldn't you cough in another room?" Every word was like a stab. I had started walking on tiptoes in my own house, eating in absolute silence, holding back my cough so as not to bother. I was becoming a ghost for the second time, but now because of my own daughter. One day, while I was in the garden pruning the roses that David had planted years ago, I heard Hope talking on the phone with her sister, my other daughter who lives in Spain. "Yes, Paula, I'm living with Mom, but it's horrible. You don't know what it's like to live with an old woman. Everything about her bothers me. I didn't realize it when I was a girl, but now that I'm here every day, I realize that Mom has become disgusting. She smells weird. She makes disgusting noises. She has old woman habits that make me nauseous. Disgusting. Gross. Nauseous. My own daughter was talking about me as if I were a sick animal. I don't know how much longer I can stand living here, but I have no other choice, at least until I get a job and can rent something. She was using me. She was putting up with me because she had no alternative, not because she loved or respected me. That night I couldn't sleep. I lay awake, thinking about Hope's words. Had I really become disgusting? Was it so unpleasant to live with me? I got up and looked at myself in the bathroom mirror. I saw a 7-1-year-old woman, thin, with wrinkles, with age spots on her hands, with white and sparse hair, an old woman. That's what my daughter saw when she looked at me. A disgusting old woman. The next morning I tried to talk to Hope. "Daughter, yesterday I heard you talking on the phone. If my presence bothers you so much, maybe it's better if you find another solution." She looked at me with a surprised face, as if she couldn't believe that I had heard her private conversation. "Mom, I didn't mean for you to hear that. I was just venting to Paula, that's all." "But it's what you really feel, isn't it?" "Mom, you know I love you very much. It's just that, well, living together is difficult for everyone. We're going through a period of adjustment. As if the problem was the adjustment, not the fact that my presence made her nauseous. Hope, if you want, I can find another place to live. I don't want to be a nuisance to you and the kids. No, Mom, don't say those things. This is your house. We are the ones who are living here as a favor. As a favor. That's exactly how I felt. Like someone who lived as a favor in their own home. The following days were unbearable. Every gesture of mine, every movement, every sound I made seemed to bother Hope. I serve you food on a separate plate because the kids get impressed when they see Mom eat. She asked me not to sit on the living room sofa because afterwards it smells like an old woman. When my grandchildren wanted to spend time with me, Hope always found an excuse to separate them. Michael, don't bother Grandma. She's tired. Sarah, come here. Grandma needs to rest, as if I were a terminally ill patient who couldn't interact with her own grandchildren. A month ago, things reached a limit. I was in the kitchen making myself a tea when Hope arrived from the supermarket. She came with a grumpy face, loaded with heavy bags. Mom, can you move? I need to use the kitchen. Of course, daughter. I'm just making myself a tea. Oh, Mom, please, you already had tea at 3. Do you really need another one? Well, if it bothers you, I won't have it. It's not that it bothers me, it's that... Oh, Mom, I don't know how to tell you this without hurting you. Tell me what's wrong, Hope. She was silent for a long time, putting the groceries in the fridge. Finally, she turned around and looked at me with an expression I'll never forget. A mixture of annoyance, tiredness, and something worse, genuine disgust. Mom, the truth is that it's very difficult for me to live with you. Everything you do bothers me. The way you eat, the way you breathe, the way you move around the house. It's as if your mere presence disgusts me. Disgusts. My daughter had just told me that I disgusted her. It's not your fault, Mom. It's just that you're old and old people. Well, old people are disgusting by nature. They smell weird, they make weird noises, they have disgusting habits. And I know it's horrible what I'm telling you, but I can't help feeling it. Disgusting old woman. Those were the words my daughter used to describe me. Hope, I said with a calm I didn't feel. Do you really think I'm disgusting? Mom, please don't make me feel worse than I already do. I know what I'm saying is wrong. I know you're my mother and that I owe you respect, but I can't change what I feel. I can't change the fact that when I see you eat, I want to vomit. I can't change the fact that when you're in the same room as me, I feel uncomfortable. I can't change the fact that sometimes when you hug me, I have to hold back the nausea. Nausea. My own hug gave my daughter nausea. I stood in that kitchen, holding my cup of tea, looking at the woman who had come out of my body, whom I had raised with love for 35 years, whom I had protected, educated, cared for, and she was telling me that my existence repulsed her. I understand, I said. Don't worry, Hope. It's not your fault you feel what you feel. Aren't you mad at me, Mom? No, daughter, I'm not mad. I'm just sad. Mom, maybe with time things will get better. Maybe I'll get used to it. Maybe she would get used to enduring my disgusting presence. What an encouraging prospect for my last years of life. That night, sitting at my desk, I made the most important decision of my life. If my presence was so disgusting to my daughter, if my existence caused her so much disgust, then I was going to disappear forever. But I wasn't going to leave like a defeated and humiliated old woman. I was going to leave like a woman who still had dignity. What Hope didn't know is that her disgusting mother had been very smart with money throughout her life. The house where we lived was worth $300,000. I had 2 other apartments that I rented that were worth $150,000 each. I had savings in the bank for another $200,000. In total, I had a net worth of $800,000 that my daughter thought she would one day inherit. But after hearing that she disgusted me, that my presence repulsed her, that my hug gave her nausea, I decided that Hope was not going to see a single penny of that money. If I was so disgusting, then my money must be too. The next morning I called my lawyer, Dr. Ruiz, who had known me for 30 years. Doctor, I need to see you urgently. It's about my will and some properties. In his office I explained the whole situation, how my daughter had told me that she disgusted me, how I had decided to disappear forever. Mrs. Mendizabal, are you sure about what you want to do? It's a very drastic decision. Doctor, my daughter told me I'm disgusting, that my presence makes her nauseous. What would you do in my place? I understand your pain, Mrs. Mendizabal, but maybe your daughter was just going through a difficult time. The separation, the kids, the financial pressure. Doctor, A person can say many things when they are under pressure, but when someone looks you in the eye and tells you that you disgust them, that comes from the soul. That can't be faked. And what exactly do you want to do? I want to sell everything, the house, the apartments, take all the money out of the bank, and then I want to disappear without a trace. Dr. Ruiz was silent for a long time. And where do you plan to go? Anywhere a disgusting old woman can live in peace, doctor, far from daughters who see her as a repulsion. And the money from the sales? That money is coming with me, doctor, for my new life. For the next 2 weeks, I put into motion the most elaborate plan of my life. I hired a discreet real estate agency to sell the properties. I told them it was an urgent sale, that I would accept offers below market price in order to close quickly. In 10 days, I had sold everything. The house where we lived I sold for $250,000. The 2 apartments I sold for $120,000 each. I took all my savings out of the bank. In total, I had $710,000 in cash, a fortune that would allow me to live comfortably for the rest of my life anywhere in the world. Meanwhile, Hope didn't notice anything strange. I continued to behave like the same disgusting old woman, trying not to bother her with my disgusting presence. She continued to avoid me, talking to me as little as possible, keeping the children away from me. One afternoon, while she was at a job interview, I took the opportunity to talk to my grandchildren. Michael, Sarah, Grandma loves you very much. I want you to always remember that. Why are you telling us that, Grandma? Sarah asked me with her 12 years. Are you going to die? No, my love, I'm not going to die, but Grandma may have to go on a trip for a long time. Where are you going, Grandma? Michael asked me. I don't know yet, Michael, but I want you to know that you are the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. I gave each of them an envelope with $1,000 in cash. This is for when you are older. It's a gift from your disgusting grandma. Grandma, why do you call yourself disgusting? We don't think you're disgusting. I know, my loves. You see me with eyes of love, but there are people who see me with other eyes. Last Wednesday was the day chosen for my disappearance. Hope had gotten a job in an accounting office and was starting that same morning. The children had classes until 5 in the afternoon. I had the whole day to execute my plan without interference. At 8 in the morning, after everyone had left, I called a moving company. I need you to come today to pick up some furniture. I told them to take only the valuables, the big TV, the stereo, the computer, some expensive appliances. The rest I left so that Hope would understand the message. At 10 in the morning, the movers had taken everything I wanted. At 11, a taxi arrived that was waiting to take me to the airport. I had a suitcase with clothes for a week and a bag with $710,000 distributed in bills of different denominations. Before leaving, I left a letter on the kitchen table, a letter that I had written and rewritten 10 times until it was perfect. The letter said, Hope, since you told me that my presence disgusted you, I decided to give you what you so desired, my permanent absence. I sold everything I had and left forever. Now you won't have to put up with this disgusting old woman anymore. Be happy. Your disgusting mother. At noon, I was already at the airport waiting for my flight to Miami. I had chosen the United States because it was the easiest place to disappear. With my money, I could buy a new identity, rent an apartment, live comfortably without anyone ever finding me. During the flight, I felt free for the first time in months. I was no longer the disgusting old woman who had to walk on tiptoes in her own house. I was no longer the grandmother who was kept away from her grandchildren. I was Emily Mendizabal, a 71-year-old woman with $710,000 and the rest of her life ahead of her. I arrived in Miami at 8 o'clock at night. At the airport, a contact that Dr. Ruiz had gotten for me was waiting for me. A man who dedicated himself to helping people who wanted to start a new life. Mrs. Mendizabal, welcome to your new life. Are you ready to disappear? In a week, I had new documents, a new bank account, a rented apartment in a quiet Miami neighborhood, and a new phone. Officially, Emily Mendizabal had disappeared from the face of the earth. In her place was born Emily Mendez, a retired Argentine woman who lived comfortably on her savings. Meanwhile, in Argentina, Hope had arrived home after her first day of work and had found my letter. My sister Linda told me later that Hope had called her screaming hysterically. Aunt Linda, Mom disappeared. She took things from the house and left a letter saying she was gone forever. And what exactly did the letter say? Linda asked her. Hope read her my entire letter. Linda was silent for a long time. Hope, Did you really tell your mom that she disgusted you? Yes, but it was in a moment of anger. I didn't mean it. Hope, your mom is a proud woman. If she left, it's because she's very hurt. Aunt, help me find her. She can't have gone very far. She doesn't have much money. Do you know how much money your mom had? Not much, Aunt. A retirement, some savings. Linda laughed bitterly. Hope, your mom had this house that is worth a fortune, 2 apartments that she rented and savings that you can't even imagine. If she left with everything. And if she sold the properties, she must have close to $1 million. Hope fainted. She literally fainted when Linda told her how much money she had lost by calling me disgusting. When she woke up, she started crying like a crazy person. Aunt, I didn't know that Mom had so much money. If I had known, I would never have said those horrible things to her. Hope, the problem is not that you didn't know she had money. The problem is that you told your own mother that she disgusted you. You don't do that even if she's poor. But Aunt, I was stressed, angry, frustrated. I didn't mean to hurt her so much. The intention doesn't matter, Hope. Words once spoken cannot be erased. And your mom is a woman who does not forgive humiliation. Linda was right. I was a woman who did not forgive humiliation. And the greatest humiliation of my life had been hearing my own daughter say that she disgusted me. During my first months in Miami, Hope moved heaven and earth to find me. She hired private detectives, placed ads in newspapers, contacted the police in several countries. But Emily Mendizabal had disappeared completely, and Emily Mendez was invisible. Linda told me on the phone everything that was happening. Emily, your daughter is desperate. She has lost 15 kilos. She doesn't eat. She doesn't sleep. The children ask her every day when Grandma is coming back. And what does she tell them? She tells them that Grandma went on a trip, but that she will be back soon. Linda, I'm not coming back. Not now, not ever. Sister, maybe your daughter learned her lesson. Maybe now she values what she lost. Linda, if Hope valued me, she wouldn't have told me that she disgusted me. What she values now is the money she lost, not the mother she humiliated. And the grandchildren? Don't you care about the grandchildren? That question hurt me more than Linda could imagine. Of course I cared about my grandchildren. I missed them every day. But I had made a decision, and I was going to stick to it. Linda, my grandchildren are going to grow up with the mother they chose to have. A mother who is going to teach them that old people are disgusting, that family can be humiliated when they bother. Maybe it's better that they don't have the influence of a grandmother who thinks differently. 3 months ago, Linda told me that Hope had had to leave the house because she couldn't pay the rent. She moved into a small apartment with the kids. She is working 2 jobs to make ends meet. And how are the kids? Sad, Emily. Very sad. They ask for you every day. Michael told me something that broke my heart, Linda continued. He told me, Aunt Linda, is it true that Grandma left because we are bad grandchildren? The poor creature thinks you left because of them. That night, I cried for the first time since I arrived in Miami. I cried because my grandchildren thought I had left because of them. I cried because a decision I had made to punish my daughter was also hurting 2 innocent people, but I didn't change my mind. If my grandchildren were suffering, it was because their mother had chosen to humiliate their grandmother instead of respecting her. The consequences of her words were not going to be suffered by me alone. Last month, Linda told me that Hope had started psychological therapy. She was diagnosed with severe depression. The psychologist told her that she has to process the guilt of having lost her mother because of her own words. And what does she say in therapy? She says she regrets it, that she would give anything to ask for your forgiveness. Linda, if Hope regrets it, it's not because of the words she said to me. She regrets it because of the economic consequences of those words. Do you really believe that, Emily? Linda, if I had been a poor old woman, if I hadn't had properties or savings, do you think Hope would be so desperate to find me? Linda fell silent. She knew I was right. If I had been a woman without money, Hope would have been happy that I left. The problem was not my absence, it was the lost inheritance. Here in Miami, I have built a new life. I live in a comfortable apartment near the beach. I have pleasant neighbors who know nothing about my past. I have learned basic English to communicate better. For the first time in years, no one looks at me as if I were disgusting. I have met other retired Argentines who live here. We play cards on Thursdays. We go to lunch on Sundays. We organize excursions on weekends. I have an active social life with people who respect me, who value my company, who do not find my presence disgusting. I met Emily, a 8-year-old Colombian widow who lost her husband 2 years ago. She is an intelligent, elegant woman who cooks deliciously and treats me with genuine affection. We have not talked about marriage, but we enjoy each other's company very much. Emily told me last week, "You have a sadness in your eyes that never goes away. What happened to you in Argentina that hurt you so much?" I told her part of my story, without going into details about the money. I told her that my daughter had said hurtful things to me, and that's why I had left the country. "And you don't miss your family?" "I miss the grandchildren, Emily, but I don't miss the humiliation." "And if your daughter asked you for forgiveness, sincerely, if she had really changed?" "Emily, there are things that can be forgiven, and there are things that cannot. When your own daughter tells you that she disgusts you, that marks your soul forever." Last week I received a call I wasn't expecting. It was Dr. Ruiz, my lawyer from Argentina. "Mrs. Mendizábal, I need to talk to you about a legal matter." "What's wrong, doctor?" "Your daughter has hired lawyers to try to challenge the sales of your properties. She alleges that you sold them under emotional duress. Is that possible, doctor?" "Mrs. Mendizábal, you sold your properties while in full possession of your mental faculties. I have all the signed papers, all the psychological evaluations I asked you to have. No one can challenge those sales. And what else does my daughter want to do? She wants the court to declare her your legal guardian, alleging that you are mentally unfit to handle money. Based on what? Based on the fact that a sane mother would never abandon her daughter and grandchildren. Doctor, would a sane mother put up with her daughter telling her that she disgusts her? Of course not, Mrs. Mendizábal. But your daughter is desperate. She has lost her house. She is working 2 jobs. The children are in psychological therapy. She is doing everything she can to get the money back. Let her do what she wants, doctor." "But she won't get anything. Yesterday Linda called me with news that surprised me." Emily. Hope moved again. "Now she lives in a boarding house with the kids." "A boarding house?" "Yes, sister. She can't pay the rent for the apartment. The kids are missing private school because she can't pay the fees." "And how are they?" "Bad, Emily. Very bad. Michael asked me if you died, and that's why you don't come back. Sarah hardly talks at all since they moved to the boarding house. Linda, I didn't choose for my grandchildren to suffer. Hope chose to humiliate me, knowing that she had children who depended on me. And there's nothing Hope can do for you to forgive her? Linda, would you forgive someone who told you that you disgust them? Your own daughter?" "I don't know, sister. It's very painful what she did to you. Then you understand why I can't forgive her. This morning, while I was having coffee on the balcony of my apartment looking at the sea, I thought about everything that had happened in these 8 months. My daughter had lost her home, her financial stability, her peace of mind. My grandchildren had lost their school, their home, their grandmother. I had lost my family, but I had gained my dignity. Was it worth it? Was it worth it for 2 innocent children to suffer for their mother's cruel words? I don't know. What I do know is that I couldn't continue to live with someone who saw me as something disgusting. Emily asked me yesterday if I didn't regret anything. Emily, don't you regret having gone so far? Don't you regret having cut off all contact with your family? I regret many things, Emily. I regret having raised a daughter capable of telling her mother that she disgusts her. I regret not having set limits before. I regret having tolerated humiliation. But you don't regret having left? No, Emily. I don't regret having left. I regret not having left sooner. And if your daughter came here, to Miami, to ask for your forgiveness, Emily, my daughter doesn't know where I am, and even if she did, it's already too late. There are words that kill love forever, and the words she said to me were of that kind. 2 weeks ago, I received a call that changed everything. It was Linda, but this time crying. Emily, I have terrible news. Michael is in the hospital. What happened to my grandson? He tried to commit suicide, sister. He cut his wrists with a Gillette. The phone fell from my hands. My 12-year-old grandson had tried to take his own life. Linda, how is he now? He's alive, Emily, but psychologically very bad. When they found him, he had a letter in his hand addressed to you. What did the letter say? It said, "Grandma, I'm going to where you are because I can't live here without you. Forgive me for being a bad grandson. I love you. Emily, this boy thinks you left because of him." I started crying like a child. My grandson had tried to kill himself because he thought I had abandoned him. Linda, I want to talk to him. Emily, Michael is in intensive care. He can't talk on the phone, but the doctors say that the only thing he repeats is your name. I want Grandma. I want Grandma. And Hope? Hope is destroyed, sister. She blames herself for everything that happened. That night I didn't sleep. I walked on the beach for hours, thinking about my grandson hospitalized in a psychiatric hospital, thinking about the consequences of my decision. I had wanted to punish my daughter, but I had ended up punishing an innocent child. The next morning I called Dr. Ruiz. Doctor, I need to go back to Argentina urgently. My grandson is hospitalized. Mrs. Mendizabal, are you sure? If you go back, your daughter will know where to find you. Doctor, my grandson tried to commit suicide because he thinks I abandoned him. I don't care what happens to my daughter anymore. Do you want me to get you a flight? Yes, doctor, the first available flight. In 6 hours, I was on a plane back to Chicago after 8 months of exile. I only had a small suitcase and $50,000 in cash with me. The rest of the money I had left in Miami, in an account that only Emily knew about. I arrived in Chicago at 10 inches the morning. Linda was waiting for me at the airport. When she saw me, she started to cry. Emily, thank you for coming back. Michael has been better since yesterday, when we told him you were coming. How is Hope? Very bad, sister. She has lost 20 kilos. She is on antidepressants. She can barely work. And Sarah? Sarah is better than Michael, but also very affected. She has a hard time understanding why Grandma left without saying goodbye. During the trip to the hospital, Linda brought me up to date on everything that had happened. Hope had to stop working because of depression. The children were living mainly with Linda because Hope couldn't take care of them. Emily, your daughter has hit rock bottom. She has lost everything. Her house, her job, her stability, her mental health, and worst of all, she almost lost her son. Linda, I didn't want things to get this far. I know, sister, but words have consequences, and Hope is paying all the consequences at once. We arrived at the hospital at 12. Michael was in a room on the child psychiatry floor. When he saw me enter, he started to cry and hugged me, as if I were the only thing that kept him alive. Grandma, I thought I would never see you again. I thought you had left because you didn't love me. Michael, my love, Grandma loves you more than anything in the world. I didn't leave because of you, my life. I left because I had problems with your mom, but have you come back to stay? I looked him in the eyes, those innocent eyes that didn't understand anything about what had happened between his mother and me, and I couldn't lie to him. Michael, Grandma came back to see you, to hug you, to tell you how much she loves you, but I don't know if I'm going to stay forever. Why, Grandma? What did Mom do so bad that you can't forgive her? Mom said things to me that hurt me a lot, my love, things that a child should never say to their parent. But you can't forgive her? Mom cries every day saying she was bad to you. Michael, there are things that can be forgiven and there are things that cannot, but the important thing is that you know that Grandma loves you, no matter what happens between your mom and me. I spent the whole afternoon with Michael. I told him stories, we played cards. He told me everything that had happened during these 8 months. Grandma, Mom says you were a millionaire, and that because of her we lost all the money. And what do you think about that, Michael? I think I don't care if you were a millionaire or poor, Grandma. I missed you, not your money. And Mom? Mom, I think she did miss the money, Grandma. She always talked about the money we had lost. Children see everything. They understand everything, even if they don't know how to express it. At 6 in the afternoon, Hope arrived at the hospital. When she saw me, she stood in the doorway, not daring to enter. She had changed completely. She was thin, pale, with deep dark circles, her hair unkempt, her clothes old. She was the ghost of my daughter. Mom, she said with a broken voice, thank you for coming back. I came for Michael, Hope. I came because my grandson tried to kill himself thinking I had abandoned him. Mom, I know I have no right to ask you for anything, but I need to talk to you. Talk. Not here, Mom. We can go somewhere private. We left Michael with Linda and went to the hospital cafeteria. Hope sat in front of me and began to cry uncontrollably. Mom, I'm the worst daughter in the world. I have no forgiveness for what I did to you. Hope, do you know exactly what you did to me? I told you that you disgusted me, Mom. I told you that you were disgusting, that your presence repulsed me. They were the cruelest words that can be said to a parent. And why did you say those things to me? Because I was angry, frustrated, bitter about my separation. I took all my anger out on you, who were the easiest, because I knew you would always forgive me. Do you realize what you just said, Hope? What, Mom? That you mistreated me because you knew I would always forgive you. That you abused my love. She was silent for a long time. You're right, Mom. I abused your love. I abused your patience. I abused your kindness. And when you left, I realized what I had lost. Did you realize you had lost your mother, or did you realize you had lost a fortune? At first, Mom, I'm going to be honest, I was more desperate for the money than for you. I thought, I lost $1 million because of my big mouth. But then, when the months went by, when I saw my children asking for you every day, I realized that I had lost something much more valuable. What thing? I had lost the best mother in the world, Mom. I had lost the woman who raised me, who protected me, who always helped me. I had lost my hero. Hope, if I was really your hero, how could you tell me that I disgusted you? Because I'm an idiot, Mom. Because I'm ungrateful. Because I didn't know how to value what I had until I lost it. And now what do you want? I want you to forgive me, Mom. I want you to come back home. I want us to be a family again. Hope, I don't have a home anymore. I sold the house where we lived. I know, Mom, but we can rent something together. I work now. I can help with the expenses. And how do I know you won't treat me badly again when we're living together again? Because I learned the most painful lesson of my life, Mom. Because I almost lost my son because of my fault. Because I realized that without you, we are nothing. Hope, you said that old people were disgusting by nature. I'm still old. Do I still seem disgusting to you? Mom, please don't make me repeat those horrible words. I'm ashamed of having said them. You're not disgusting, Mom. You're the most beautiful thing I have in my life. And if I bother you again with my old woman habits, Mom, you can do whatever you want, however you want, whenever you want. It's your right. I have no right to criticize you, to judge you, to mistreat you. Hope, the words you said to me are not erased with apologies. I know, Mom, but maybe they can be erased with actions. Let me show you that I can be the daughter you deserve. That night I stayed in a hotel near the hospital. I couldn't sleep, thinking about everything that had happened, about all the decisions I had made. My grandson had tried to commit suicide because of me. My daughter had hit rock bottom because of me. I had wanted to teach a lesson, but I had destroyed a family. The next day, I went back to the hospital early. Michael was better, more cheerful. Grandma, are you going to stay? I don't know, Michael. It's complicated. But are you going to come see me? Of course, my love. Even if I live on the moon, I'll come see you. Sarah arrived with Linda at 10 in the morning. When she saw me, she ran to hug me. Grandma, I missed you so much. Why did you leave without saying goodbye? Because Grandma was very angry, my love. Sometimes we adults do things that are not right when we are very angry. And you're not angry anymore? I'm less angry, Sarah. But it still hurts what happened. Did Mom ask for your forgiveness? Yes, my love, Mom asked for my forgiveness. And are you going to forgive her? I don't know, Sarah. Forgiving is difficult when someone hurts you a lot. Hope arrived at noon with a bouquet of flowers and a letter. Mom, I wrote this for you. These are all the things I couldn't tell you in 8 months. I read the letter right there. It was a long, detailed apology where she acknowledged every mistake, every mistreatment, every humiliation she had made me suffer. Mom, the letter ended. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know I was the worst daughter in the world. But if you give me a chance, I will spend the rest of my life trying to be the daughter I should have always been. I love you, Mom. Your repentant daughter, Hope. What do you think of the letter, Mom? It's very well written, Hope, but letters are easy to write. Changes are difficult to sustain. Let me try, Mom. Let me show you that I can change. And if you can't change? What if in 6 months you treat me badly again? Then you have the right to leave again, Mom, but this time forever, with no possibility of forgiveness. Hope, I'm not the same woman who left 8 months ago. I have lived alone. I have learned to value my independence. I have met people who respect me. I don't know if I want to depend on a daughter's goodwill again. So you're not going to give me any chance? I'm going to give you a chance, Hope, but with very clear conditions. Whatever you want, Mom. First condition, if we live together again, I will pay my share of all expenses. I don't want to live as a favor anywhere. Mom, you don't need to pay for anything. It's necessary for me, Hope. I want to live as an equal, not as a burden. Okay, Mom. What's the second condition? Second condition. At the first mistreatment, at the first humiliation, at the first time you make me feel like I'm a nuisance, I'm leaving, and I'm never coming back. I accept, Mom. Are there more conditions? Third condition. We are going to live in a neutral place. Not in your house, not in my house, in a new place where we both start from scratch. And how are we going to pay for a new place? Hope, I brought money from Miami. Not everything, but enough to rent something decent. Mom, you still have money? I have something, Hope. I'm not a millionaire like before, but I'm not poor. And the rest of the money? The rest stayed in Miami in case I have to go back. Are you planning to go back to Miami? If you treat me badly again, yes. I'll go back, and this time there won't be any third chances. It won't be necessary, Mom. I swear on my children. Hope's oaths no longer convinced me as before, but I was willing to give her a chance for my grandchildren. A week ago, we left the hospital with Michael. We found a 3-bedroom apartment in a quiet neighborhood. It is a nice, comfortable place, where everyone has their own space. Hope religiously fulfills all her promises. She treats me with respect, includes me in conversations, values my opinions, but I remain cautious. I know it's easy to behave well for a week, for a month. The difficult thing is to sustain the change forever. That's why I keep my account in Miami. That's why I didn't sell my return ticket. The children are happy to have their grandmother back. Michael tells me everything that has happened during these months, how he missed our talks, how he dreamed that I would come back. Sarah helps me cook as we used to. She tells me the school gossip. She asks me for advice about her friends. Hope got a better job, in a company that allows her to work part-time to be with the children more. Mom, she told me yesterday, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I know I didn't deserve it. Hope, opportunities are not deserved. They are taken advantage of or wasted. I'm not going to waste this one, Mom, I promise you. Hope, don't make me promises. Just treat me well and it will be enough. And if I make a mistake? If one day I'm in a bad mood and I talk to you badly without meaning to. Hope, there is a difference between being in a bad mood and telling your mother that she disgusts you. A huge difference. And how will I know what the limit is? You will know, Hope. Your heart will tell you when you are crossing the line. Emily calls me every day from Miami. Emily, how are you doing with your family? Fine, Emily. For now, fine. Do you miss Miami? I miss the tranquility, Emily. I miss not having to be on alert all the time, waiting for the next mistreatment. And your daughter? Has she really changed? I don't know, Emily. It's too soon to know. But she's making an effort. And if it doesn't work out, are you going back? If it doesn't work out, I'm coming back. But this time to stay forever. Last night, while the 4 of us were having dinner together, Michael asked me something that made me reflect. Grandma, have you forgiven us all? Who do I have to forgive, Michael? Mom for having treated you badly? Me for having thought you didn't love me? Sarah for not having done anything to defend you? Michael, you and Sarah have nothing to be forgiven for. You are children. You didn't have to defend me from your mother. And you have forgiven, Mom? I looked at Hope, who was waiting for my answer with anxiety. Michael, forgiving is not something that is done from one day to the next. It is something that is built with time, with actions, with real changes. But you are going to try to forgive her. I'm going to try, my love, but your mom has to help me forgive her. After dinner, Hope and I were left alone in the kitchen washing the dishes. Mom, what can I do to help you forgive me? Hope, just keep being the daughter you are now, respectful, affectionate, grateful. And are you going to stay? Hope, I'm going to try to stay, but I can't promise you anything. What do you need to feel safe to stay? I need time, Hope. Time to believe that you really changed. How much time? I don't know, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, maybe more. And if in a year I convince you that I've changed, are you going to cancel your account in Miami? If in a year you convince me that you've changed, I'll bring the rest of the money from Miami. To you who have listened to me so far, to you who know my whole story, I want to ask you something very important. What words do you use when you talk to the people you love? Do you treat them with respect, with affection, with patience? Or do you think that because they love you, you have the right to mistreat them? My daughter thought she could tell me that she disgusted me because I would always forgive her. She was wrong. There are words that kill love, that destroy bonds, that can never be erased. And when you realize the damage you have done, it may be too late. Have you ever told someone in your family that they disgust you? Have you told them that they are disgusting, gross, unpleasant? If the answer is yes, I want you to know something. Those words are engraved in that person's heart forever, and maybe one day, when you least expect it, that person will disappear from your life forever. My advice is this: take care of the words you use with your family. Words have the power to heal and the power to destroy. A word spoken with love can change someone's day. A word spoken with cruelty can change an entire life. And if you have ever said something horrible to someone you love, don't wait until it's too late to ask for forgiveness. Don't wait until that person disappears to realize what you've lost. Ask for forgiveness now, while you still have time, because I was lucky. My daughter asked for my forgiveness before it was too late for good. But not everyone is that lucky. Not everyone gets a second chance. Do you have someone to whom you owe an apology? Someone you hurt with cruel words? If so, don't wait any longer. Call them, look for them, tell them you're sorry before it's too late. And tell me from which country you are listening to me. And tell me if this story made you reflect on the words you use with your family. Because that reflection can save a relationship. It can prevent someone else from having to sell everything and disappear to regain their dignity. My story is not over yet. I don't know if I'm going to stay in Argentina or if I'm going to go back to Miami. That depends on whether my daughter has really changed or if she is just acting until things calm down. But what I do know is this: I will never again allow anyone to treat me like something disgusting. Neither my daughter nor anyone else. Because I have learned that it is better to be alone with dignity than accompanied with humiliation, and that lesson may be worth more than all the millions I lost.